I look like every black character in every video game.
Oh, get it!
What's good with y'all? It's your boy Ant. I'm back with another video. I look like every black character in every video game. Well, I was doing yard work with the neighbors, but hey, look. Today, I'm gonna revisit a topic that I talked about way back when I first started my channel. It was like my second or third video. But basically, hold on. My fault, I'm looking at eBay car parts. Anyways, we're talking about how to get your first credit card if you're 18, or just how to get your first credit card. This is mostly angled towards 18-year-olds, but if you do not have a credit card, this is how to get your credit card journey started. If you A, have no credit, or B, you're just not old enough, or nothing like that. If you are on your parents' credit statement, or they put you on as a dependent, or whatever, I forgot what specifically it is, but if they put you on your credit, you should have credit, a high credit score, right? Which we can get into that in a whole different video. But if you have that, you can apply for whatever credit card you want. So first, we're gonna start off. You're 18, presumably, and you don't have a credit card. Why do you need a credit card? A credit card, I'm not gonna talk to you like that. A credit card is basically the bank's money that you get to use as long as you pay it back, right? And the credit limit on the card you get is how much of the bank's money you can spend in one sitting before they get mad, right? But that's how much you're allowed to play with before you have to pay it back at the end of every 30 days or however many days it is, right? You're probably thinking, why do I need that? Why do I need that if I have money, right? Well, you're using the bank's money. So first off, your purchases you can buy now and then worry about that later. Two, it helps build your credit score up to have a credit card. And with your credit score up, you can take out loans so you can buy houses, cars, and everything else. And it really saves you a lot of money. The higher credit score you have, the less interest you have to pay on a lot of bigger things, unless you have the amount of money to pay for these big things up front, which for like a car or a house, a lot of people don't. So they take out a loan, right? And with your loan, the lower interest rates come with the higher credit scores, because they're like, damn, well, he's been using my money for a long time and he's always paying it back. So why don't I just give him more? Let him use more and fuck the interest rate. We know he'll pay it back, right? So that is very simply put how that is. Right? Now you know what it is and why you need it. Let's get into the cards that you should apply for if you are 18 and trying to start your credit journey. Number one is going to be the Discover It student card. Right now, the last video I talked about the Discover secured credit card. A secured credit card is great. Secured credit card is you're almost guaranteed to get it because you're putting money down to get the card, and how much you put down is your limit on the card until 6 to 7 months. They give you a refund of your limit. They give you a refund of how much you put down, a full refund of how much you put down in the check version, and then they increase your limit. My Discovered secured credit card was 400 on it. I had a 400 limit for half a year, and then after the 6 or 7 months, they sent me a check for that 400 back. My limit got increased to 1800. Here's the tricky game that you play when you go student versus secured card, right? Secured, you are guaranteed to get the card. Secured, they are guaranteed to update and increase your limit. Now, the amount that your limit increases, not guaranteed. With the student card, you can get cards that have more benefits off a rip, but the limit that you have may not be good. I'm still gonna say Discover It student card because you get 5% on rotating categories, and that is probably one of the highest in the game right now, besides maybe the Freedom Flex or like the City Custom Cash. But Discover It student cashback card. Discover is basically a credit union in the very loose terms of what a credit union is. 24/7 support. You can text them whenever you want. You can call them basically whenever you want. You can request credit limit increases every 8 days, and it is a soft pull. What a soft pull is, it doesn't run your credit report fully, so it doesn't hurt your credit score by checking it. Most of the time, when you apply for a credit limit increase, it's 50-50 whether or not it's a soft inquiry, if it's a low amount, or a hard inquiry if they increase it by a lot. There's no negatives on your credit score when you do that. So that is a positive. And I personally like Discover. They only have like 2 things that you can use though. So if you can get that, apply for that card, it's perfectly fine. Number 2, Capital One student card. Now, there are 2 student cards. You have a Saver One and a Quicksilver. Quicksilver, you get 1.5% cash back on on all purchases. That is a solid all-around card. Then you have the Capital One Savor One student card. I would recommend. It has 3% cash back on dining, entertainment, so like movie theaters, shit like that, streaming services, Hulu, Netflix, Spotify, and the grocery store. So anytime you go get groceries, you get 3% cash back on that, plus 1% back on everything else, right? So 1% versus 1.5%. The reason why I suggest the Savor One, if you're gonna go Capital One, I recommend the Savor One, because compared to the Quicksilver, you get more back, and you get 1% on everything else, which is perfectly fine, because you should really only be using this card for groceries, entertainment, any services, and dining, right? I was close to getting a Savor One when I only had my Discovery. That was my next card, but I went to go to Quicksilver, which in retrospect was probably a mistake, just because of what I buy and what I purchase. But now I have the cards that I want, and I'm doing swell. So that's that. Capital One that I really mess with a lot. I have their 360 savings account, which is high yield savings account, which I talked about in the last video. That is one of my high yield savings accounts that I have, and I have the credit card with them. So just kind of have a relationship already. But the third option, the Chase Freedom Student Card, is another all-around card, 1.5% cash back on all purchases, 0% annual fee. All these cards have zero annual fees. Most student cards are gonna have them. Now I believe Chase you have the option to get a secured version or a non-secured version of your card. If you have Chase checkings account, only for Chase, if you want to get a Chase card, I would just open a checking account, you have the need to do it, and apply for the Chase student card, so you can have that connection, right? Chase Freedom card isn't anything special. It's just like the Quicksilver student card. I would say that the Discover and the Savor One are better because they have higher percentage cash backs and you can do more specific things with them. But the main benefit of getting this Chase student card is so that you can have a connect into getting and expanding your Chase ecosystem. Chase, I think, are really worth starting a relationship with them early. If you already have Chase, then you're probably solid. Besides Chase being a brick and mortar, and not a lot of people have good experience with the brick and mortars. However, Chase does have I think one of the best business credit cards. They have the trifecta for traveling, which is really good to have. It's not the best, but if you already have a relationship with them, it's really good to have that connection, just so you can just branch off into that to begin with. And C, branches are everywhere, and their customer service is for what you can get through them. I'd say it's worth it, even just to have a relationship with them. Those are my 3 banks, 4 cards that I would recommend you get at 18. And the process is pretty simple. It's just like I explained in the last video. Social security number, first and last name. For all cards, and until you are 21, if you are applying for a card, you either need a co-signer or you need proof of monthly income. You could even lie and say that you make like 2 bands a month. They're not gonna double check that. It's just whether or not they feel comfortable giving a card with a certain limit to somebody who makes $2,000 a month. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Be sure to comment if you have any questions or if you want to see something specifically talked about. I'm going through the journey with y'all, or you're going through it with me, because I'm trying to educate myself, and a lot of this stuff I wasn't taught when I was younger, when I was in high school. So now that I'm 19, I'm trying to make sure that I figure it out and learn it for my benefit, so that I can be successful and that I can know what's going on, and 2, so that anybody else who wants to learn from me can know. Anyways, like I said, be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Comment down, bread getting, if you made it this far into the video. I'll hit y'all next time when I run into a Bank of America and threaten to blow it up.